Hey guys, Dorothea here of Raw Wanderlust. Today I'm feeling inspired to share with you 3 cultural distinctions that I've noticed between the way of life within the US and the way of life everywhere outside of the US. Of course, there's more than just 3, and of course that's a huge generalization because everywhere is different and unique in its own special way. But I just think it's interesting to discuss and to, open the conversation about this and get your ideas on if you think these are advantageous or disadvantageous. And of course, I can only speak from my own experience. I've lived in many parts of the US from coast to coast. I've traveled, I've road tripped across the country multiple times. I've also been to 15 different countries on 4 different continents, so I think I have a good idea of both. The first thing I want to highlight is the ease of shopping. It is ridiculously easy to buy whatever the hell you want in the US at almost any hour of the day. A lot of places are open 24/7. Places like Walmart and Target and Costco have everything you could ever want. There's pharmaceutical drugs, there's food and clothes and stuff for your car and your kids, for your house, everything. Not to mention online shopping and the plethora of things that you can buy. Literally anything you could ever want. It's super convenient, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes when I'm traveling, I do miss that. It also makes for super impersonal interactions between the person you're buying your stuff from and you as the customer. You don't have your grocer and your baker and the person who fixes your clothes and like your pharmacist. You don't have all of these different people. You just go to this one-stop shop and get everything done, one and done. You drive home. There's less walking involved. It's not necessarily better, although of course it is more convenient in some ways. The second thing I want to highlight is this culture of productivity. This is so American through and through. We're all about doing things the most efficient, the most effective way, multitasking, getting as much done as possible, having a checklist. I'm guilty of this too, okay? Just like crossing things off. And it's good because it means that we're constantly innovating and creating and inventing new things, which is changing the world. And there's a lot of good that can come out of that. But it also means that it's really hard for people in the U.S. to relax. Like, Americans have this reputation of just always running around and needing a vacation from their vacation, because they're always just creating this routine for themselves that's insane. Like, it's really insane, and it makes it hard for them to slow down and savor and enjoy life. And you can see it in the way that we eat. We scarf down our food, we go to fast food restaurants, and it causes stress on our body and our health, and there's just a plethora of problems that stem from this culture as well. The last point I want to discuss is this idea culturally that the US has of it being like the biggest, the best, the most beautiful country in the world. It has everything you need, it has the mountains, it has the beach, it has the tropics. So many Americans, because of this, become super complacent, and they don't ever want to explore and get out because they just figure, why? If I wanted to see something different, I could just hop on a plane and go to the other side of the country. Which has its element of truth, but there's a whole world out there to explore, and I think people are really missing out when they just become complacent in where they are. And this is true everywhere in the world, okay, to be honest. But yeah, I think it's really prevalent in the US. I get asked a lot from my friends back in the US, like, why do you want to get out so bad? Like, when you settle down, where are you gonna come? Like, thinking within the US. And I'm like, I don't know where I want to settle down yet, because there's a huge world. I don't want to settle, I'm not there yet. Yeah, it's interesting to think about these things for me. I'm interested in hearing what you guys have to say, what you think. If you want to join the conversation, you can comment down below. You can always read my blog where I talk about stuff like this, including my travels. My blog is rawwanderlust.com. And until next time, I'll see you guys.